Becky, tell me, how many cats do you have at your house right now?
I have 19 Maine Coons right now at the house.
19. How many adults, how many kittens?
19 is the adults.
Oh, how many kittens do you have?
I have 7 kittens, so 26.
26. And then are any of the adult moms pregnant?
Yes, one of them is pregnant.
Okay.
And there might be a couple more, but you have to wait to find out.
How do you know? Have you learned how many they're pregnant with, or do you wait until they come out?
No, it's always waiting. There's no like definitive way to tell. There's ultrasounds, but it gives you approximate. There's x-rays, but again, same thing, gives you a little estimate by counting like the spine that you see in the x-rays. But they could be hiding behind each other, so you might miss 1 or 2 in there.
Oh my gosh.
They're both approximate. None of them are guaranteed.
I'm so curious, how is the mating similar to like other animals or to people? How does that whole process work from what you're seeing?
Well, it begins with you deciding who you want to mate together because of colors, health, certain aspects, or like characteristics, personalities, is just a lot of stuff you take into consideration. And then when you decide who you're mating with, when the female goes into heat, you put them together and then you cross your fingers and hope that they like each other.
What's the chances that it works out usually?
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And how is the courting process that you see around the cattery?
Well, if they haven't met before, you have to give them time. So you'd put the female with the male, and then you would wait a couple of hours, you watch them. They kind of smell each other, get to know each other, and decide if there's chemistry there.
Oh my gosh.
The girl can refuse, the male could refuse.
Wow.
So if they decide that there's chemistry, they'll try it out.
Okay, wow, that's amazing. That's so similar. It's like a first date.
It is, yep.
That's so similar to people. And then how is the process once you see the mom is pregnant? What do you see that's different?
The first signs usually are changes in their nipples. Like you'll see it pink up a little, some of the hair falls off around it, the fur. And then that's about 2 weeks in after they've mated. And then from there, you just watch them. Like I have a little app that will give me the due date. So I just watch them develop. And they're a lot like women, like human women. They throw up, they have loss of appetite,
Wow.
they get very sleepy, and they go through this entire cycle. And then second like trimester, or whatever's considered second trimester for them, their appetite comes back, nausea goes down. And then as they approach delivery, you'll see them nesting, looking for places that will be safe to deliver. And then you'll see it. As soon as you see them looking into dark places and trying to hide under clothing or like a chair or the bed, you know it's coming, like within a couple of days that they're going to give birth.
So what else do you see that gives you the indication that the babies are coming? Like when she's like ready to give birth?
They lose their mucus plug like we do, like bloody show.
Okay.
And then you'll see her have contractions, but it's like further apart. You'll see her kind of pushing. She'll be tired. She'll have like diarrhea right before too, a few hours before. It literally mimics human women.
Wow, that's intense. That's a lot. What app do you use to follow their cycle?
I forgot the name.
Pregnancy?
I forgot the name of it.
Okay, look it up. We'll put it down below in the comments if people want to look it up.
Yeah.
So you have, and I saw you had scratches on your hands. Yes. So you have all these kittens. How do you care for them? What's your care versus the mom's care?
I let mom do most of the work, but as they get older, around 7-8 weeks, mom starts weaning them.
Okay.
But most of my scratches are due to like clipping their nails, giving them baths, things that I want them to be used to when they go to their new homes, to their new families. basic care. So they'll scratch me from being scared, but they get used to it pretty quickly. They adapt very fast because they're little.
And Becky, you're the queen of, I feel like, creating life. How many kids do you have?
I have 8 biological kids and 2 foster kids.
Okay, and how is that whole dynamic in your household with the cats, with the kids? You have a husband, you have a lot going on. You have other pets too, right?
Yes, I have 4 adopted cats from the shelter, rescued. And then I also have 3 rescued dogs. So the dogs help with getting the kittens used to families who have dogs at their home. So we socialize them together. And then the kids also help socialize the kittens with homes that have kids. And my kids are really good about helping my older kids. My daughter, the 16-year-old, she is very motherly like me. So she will help a lot with the kittens and the cats and making sure they're good. Like if I'm busy, she'll weigh them. She'll make sure they eat. She'll watch for them, and she's very nurturing too.
That's so sweet. The younger ones must have a blast with all the pets around. Yeah.
They love playtime with them. They'll come in the room where I keep the kittens and they'll play with them and hug them and hold them, and the kittens absolutely love it. It's like they know when it's a child versus an adult.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing. What is it like running this whole business? How do you feel about, having started it, being, knee deep in it?
I love it. I've always loved cats, and then I discovered Maine Coons a few years ago, that breed. And then I wanted them as pets at first, and then I realized that I really love the whole breed and what they have, like as far as personalities and things like that.
What are they like?
They're very dog-like. They're very social, friendly. They're not like standard cats. Of course, every cat has their own personality, and I think a lot of it has to do how they are raised, but there's also genetics involved. Sometimes you can't help it, but most of the time, Maine Coons are very trainable, lovable, friendly, social. They'll come up to my guests when my standard cats never come up to my guests. They're usually hiding upstairs when people are over. But my Maine Coons will be more than happy to come in and hang out with you and make you pet them and and hang out with them and they're giant.
How big do they get?
It depends. You could have anywhere between a female 9 to 15 pounds, and a male could be anywhere between 15 to 25, 30 pounds.
What's your standard cats, your other 4 rescues? What do they weigh?
The male is like 13 pounds,
Okay.
and he's topped off, but I think he overeats. That's why. The females are around 7 pounds, and they're all full grown. They're 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they're like half the size almost.
Yep.
How long do Maine Coons get? I've seen pictures of people holding them. They're huge.
Yeah, they could be very long. They can be, I think, up to 4 feet long. Wow. Their tails are just as long as their bodies. That's one of their traits. They have really long tails. So it gives the illusion of even longer of a cat.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're very long, naturally anyway.
And what made you make that decision of like, I'm doing something else and I want to be a cat breeder? How did you make that decision and then like push forward with it?
I just found the breed, the Maine Coon, so fascinating. And I loved it so much. I was like, why not? Why not give other people the joy of having one of these cats? Why not be a part of a group of people who make sure that they are breeding healthy cats and they are educating themselves on this breed and what they offer, and then trying to better like quality for the cats to be available for people to purchase and have in their home and have a good experience with them, because unfortunately there are people who don't really pay attention to that stuff, and it could be difficult, like if you breed a cat that has diseases or something like that. I wanted to offer a good experience.
What's the difference between a really good cat breeder and a regular cat breeder?
I think a really good cat breeder takes the initiative to educate themselves deeply on the importance of the breed. What health issues do they have? How do you decide which cat to breed, which one not to? It's not just focused on money, but rather, are you bettering the breed or are you damaging it? Are you in this for money or are you in it for bettering the breed?
What do you do to better the breed?
I do genetic testing on all of my cats, breeding cats. I do hip dysplasia x-rays. And I
What
also
is that?
do, well, because they're a larger breed, they could have issues with hip dysplasia where their hips basically don't form properly, and it's very hard for them to carry weight on their back legs, and it could be very painful to the point where they eventually have to be put down. So you want to kind of eradicate that. It's hard to completely remove it because it's not just genetics that causes it. Lifestyle can cause it too. Like if you don't provide exercise space for the cat, if you don't provide proper nutrition, you could develop these issues as well.
Okay. So you do the x-ray, and what does the x-ray show?
It shows how their hips are formed, if they fit in the sockets properly, if the sockets are deep and they kind of like fit in around the hip bone. It's most accurate at around the age of 2, but you could do like a preliminary one around the age of 1. It'll kind of give you an idea if they're gonna develop it later on. But some laxicity is common at that age where it looks a little loose, but it's not necessarily. If the socket looks healthy and their hip bone, like everything seems like it's gonna develop okay, then you're good to go. Like you just want to make sure there's not early signs of hip issues in the future.
So you do genetic testing, the hip dysplasia x-ray. What else do you do?
The echocardiograms.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that?
They basically ultrasound the heart and make sure there's no thickening of the walls. I believe it's the left ventricle that they are most worried about. They just make sure there's none of that. And then heart murmurs, they check for heart murmurs, which can be an early indicator, but not always. Sometimes those are just in breeding cats. Sometimes that's normal, just to have a grade 1 heart murmur. But those are the 3 things, major tests that we do. You could also ultrasound the kidneys for polycystic kidney disease because they're known to have that as well.
And it shows when they're kittens, all these things?
Yes, after a certain age.
How long?
I would say for echo, I like to do it after about 10 months because I wouldn't breed them before that anyway. And the longer you wait, the more accurate it is.
Okay.
And then the hips again after 10 months, and DNA I do right away. DNA doesn't change. It's going to remain the same no matter what age they are. So the DNA is usually the first step when they come to my cattery. And then from there it's just waiting until they're a little bit older, and then I take them for the echo and the hip dysplasia x-rays.
What do you do with the kittens that sets them apart from other catteries? As far as like food, exercise, spending time with mom, siblings?
I do offer very high quality food. Lots of supplements in there to help their bone growth, to help their immunity, gut health. I help them with I give them supplements for gums, so they have like good gums. Unfortunately, Maine Coons do have some genetic predispositions such as gum disease and things like that. So I try my best to give them the nutrients that they need to avoid as much health issues as possible. That's in my hands. I also offer them living at my house. They are constantly raised around children, the dogs, socialization. They're handled all the time. They're very used to affection because I'm super affectionate, so I hold the cats and kiss them a whole lot. They're probably sick of me by now. I do keep them with mom as long as possible as well. And just provide them with a warm, loving environment.
Just like human babies.
Yes.
Yeah, they need the same things.
Exactly.
And at what age do they go to their adopted home?
Anywhere between 12 and 14 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, it just depends on how ready they are for their neuter spay appointments. And I just judge it per kitten.
How do you know?
You could just tell if they're a little smaller side, I don't want to neuter them too quickly. If they seem too clingy with mom, I don't neuter them too quickly. I want to keep them with mom for a little longer. Just things like that. You could tell when you know, like when you have children, you could tell which one is slightly more mature than the other.
Yeah.
Same concept.
So interesting. Becky, where are you from?
Originally, I was born in Armenia.
Okay. And your parents were in Armenia their whole lives? Were they born there too?
No. My parents were born in Tehran, Iran.
Okay.
And both of them. And then they moved to Armenia.
After
not
they
together.
married, or?
No, they were children. And then they met each other, got married, and I was born. I was the first of three. And then we were there until 1989 or so when we came to the United States.
Where'd you come?
We went to Glendale, California, where majority of Armenians are. And then we lived there until about 10 years ago when we moved to Arizona.
Where'd you go to high school?
Glendale High School.
Okay. And from your experiences in Armenia and LA, where did you learn this passion for being a mom? I want to say, because you're like literally a mom to so many living things.
Yeah, I think it came natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just very nurturing.
What's
I've always been.
What's your mom like?
My mom is also very nurturing. Not quite the desire to have as many children and pets, but I'm not sure if there's anybody with that desire. But
she has how many grandkids?
Right now, with my 8 and the 2, and my sister has 4, so 14.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been here now 10 years, and do you miss LA?
No.
Okay, why not?
Too crowded, too expensive, too chaotic. Although it's becoming like that here too, but it's just too much over there.
Yeah. Do you think you would ever move back?
No.
Okay. And your cattery, you want to expand it? Do you like how many cats you have? How do you gauge all of that?
I did just add a small batch of cats, so I have a little more than I used to. I'm retiring about 8 of them, so I'll be left with 11.
Okay.
I want to see where that goes, but yes, I want to eventually offer more variety. Blue eyes, polydactyls, things like that.
What is it that people look for in Maine Coons specifically?
I think most people, when they first discover Maine Coons, don't really look into the health issues and things like that, so they immediately go for the size. They want a specific sized Maine Coon. Also, the European look is very popular. I'm not sure if you know, but Maine Coons are originally from the United States.
Okay.
Their name comes from where they originated from, which is the state of Maine. And it was I believe it was a combination of a long-haired cat from Alaska or somewhere in a different country, England, somewhere like that. I don't remember, but it was like a combination of the two. One from here, American cat, and one that came on a boat, long-haired cat, domestics, that came together and somehow produced this beautiful specimen of a cat.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
When you think about the care of kittens, how do you manage the 24/7 requirements? Like, what does it take? Because you're doing so much. You're running a household. You're still working full time. Is that right? Okay. And then you have kids. Kids have so many needs. Kids get sick, right? They have emotional needs also. What's the age range of your children?
My oldest is going to be 19 soon, and my youngest is 7.
Okay. And your foster kids?
My foster kids' oldest is 6, and the youngest is 3.
So you're 3 to 19, right?
Yeah.
So this is a lot of different stages in life also. And you were just in school, you were telling me?
Yes.
Tell me about your school experience. Where did you go? How was that? What did you study? How has that been?
Well, I decided when my fourth one was 1 year old that I wanted to go back to school.
What made you decide that?
I just wanted a better quality of life. So I figured I'm going to go get a job that I love to do. And so I did some research. I figured out what I want to do. And then I did research on what degree I would need to do this.
What did you want to do?
Embryology, which is also creating life.
Okay, no surprise there.
So I decided based on that career what degree I need.
Okay.
And then I discovered it was biological sciences and I would need to know genetics, which was extremely fascinating for me because throughout my pregnancies up until that time, the fourth baby, I had already educated myself a bunch on genetics, just me wondering how certain things happen, like Down syndrome, what causes that? Edwards syndrome, what causes that? And I just learned so much on my own that I knew I was going down the right path. But I knew that it was going to be challenging because while I was a stay-at-home mom, I had nobody to watch the kids during the day while I went to school. At that time, there was no online schooling. It was you go to the actual class. So I had to figure out how I was going to fit in classes along with being a stay-at-home mom while my husband worked full-time to take care of the family. And it was a conversation I had to have with my husband one day, like, hey, I really want to go back to school and I really need your support because without you I can't do it. You have to take on the responsibility of the kids and everything else when you get home so I could leave to go to school. He was in agreement, he was supportive. My fourth child, who was 1 at the time, is now 14.
Wow.
So that's how long it took me. It took me 13 years to finish.
Did you have any credits before?
I had very little.
Okay. Did they count?
They did. I was surprised, but they did.
Okay.
I was 18 when I went to college first. I went to community college in Glendale. And I had accrued some credits, some were useless because it was like doubling up on the same requirement. So they were like, you just have to pick one because this one fulfills the same requirement more than once. So I just went there and I said, listen, I need you guys to put me a plan. What classes do I need? How long is left? And I just need you to put an outline for me so I know what I'm doing, where I'm going, and how long this is going to take me. So they did the thing I should have done when I was 18 instead of just taking random classes. So I took it slow. I said I'm going to do it no matter how long it takes me because I had set my mind to it.
How old were you when you went back to school?
That was in 2012. So, or 2013, I think. I can't remember.
How old are you now?
I was probably 28 or 9.
How old are you now?
43.
Okay, so you went back, okay, so late 20s. And why didn't you continue when you were 18?
I was too busy working dead-end jobs, and I thought, oh, I want to be a manager here. That's what I thought I should be doing.
Climbing the ladder at work?
Exactly.
And how did that go?
It didn't. I went back to school.
Dead ends.
Yeah.
And your husband was open to this idea, and you just finished when?
I just finished last week.
How does it feel?
Great.
Are you glad you did it?
I am. I'm very glad I did it. It makes me proud of myself because I finished something I started that is seemingly difficult. But it was a goal I set for myself, and that's the most important part for me, that I set that goal and I stuck to it.
No matter what.
Exactly.
What's your advice to moms with a few kids who think about going back to school or changing their career or starting up something like a Cattery?
Do it.
Why?
Because then if you don't, you'll sit there and wonder, what if I did? And And why miss out on an opportunity? Maybe it's your calling. Why is it in your heart? I feel like if it's in your heart, God put it there. Something's meant to be. And you'll get signs along the way. You'll get hurdles you have to cross. There'll be times where you want to quit. There's been times I wanted to quit school so many times that I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's taking up so much of my time. My poor kids, they're missing out on they're missing out on time with me. And even the cattery, like you get emotionally attached to the cats, you get invested emotionally. Sometimes you just like wonder if you're doing the right thing because it could be stressful, but just do it because at the end of it, it'll pay off.
And what made you get over the hurdles? What helped you?
Self-talk, my husband's support, just looking at the end result and thinking about how I would feel once I get there, once I complete it.
There's a lot of people that don't have positive self-talk. Sometimes they don't even have support. They don't have a spouse that's there or that is, on board with them pursuing their career or passion paths. What insight can you give them and what wisdom can you give those people to keep going or keep pushing, or maybe not? Maybe you do need some of those things to get through.
I would say positive self-talk is important, but sometimes it is difficult when you're in the middle of something and you feel like you're failing. But just think about your end goal. Think about why you're doing it. What made you start it? What made you go for that? What made you set that goal? Focus on the feeling you had when you first set that goal. What was it? What was that feeling? Like the excitement of I'm going to do this. It's going to be hard, but I'm going to do it. Go back to that feeling and try to remind yourself why you're there in the first place. And I think that will help you get past that hurdle. It might still take some talk. It might still take you calling your mom and crying if you don't have a spouse that's supportive. It might take you sitting down and having a conversation with a stranger. I don't know. There was times I had strangers giving me advice when I felt like giving up. You just want to build also a circle around you of supportive people. Keep the negative naysayers out of your ear.
Why?
Because some people don't understand that the discouragement can cause you to quit. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to have people around you that are going to discourage you or give you the reasons of why you shouldn't do it. Just stick to what you know and why you went back and why you decided to take the path you did.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly.
So how does it feel now? You're done with school. You have your cattery. How does it feel? You've accomplished some of these goals. Was it obviously worth it, but was it worth all the trouble and all these losses, with the time, with your kids, with all of that? Tell me a little bit about that.
I think it was worth it. I think I set a good example for my children. I tell them if I could do it, so can you. There's no excuses. Like if I did it with all these kids and trying to start a business, working full time, this and that. I didn't start school while working full time. I went back to work about 4 years ago. But there's nothing you can't accomplish. And I always try to keep them focused on that. Set a goal. The sky's the limit. You can do anything you put your mind to. It doesn't matter what it is. And I just want them to use me as an example. And that's where it pays off. Because you could show that to your children. Like, hey, look I did it. Took me a while. It's okay, but I still did it. So can you.
It's like the legacy that you leave behind for them.
Yeah.
And you're creating generations in so many different directions. And your children are very smart, you were saying. Some or all of them are in gifted programs?
Yeah, about 3 of them right now out of the 8.
And your older one was too, the one
Yes.
that graduated? Yes. And he's also studying, he's in college?
Yes, he just finished his first year at ASU.
Okay, and you finished also at ASU?
Yes.
So what was your major?
Biological sciences
Okay.
with emphasis on genetics, developmental, and cell biology.
So fascinating. Do you use your studies in your cattery business?
Absolutely.
In what ways?
the genetics aspects really fascinates me. So the whole genetic testing, I sit down, study all their genetics, their coloring, their, you know, when you get the results back for their genetic testing, each of the genes that they tested have explanation. So I like to sit down and read each of them and see what determines what within the cat, like what will make a certain type of cat, or what made their color that way, or things like that. It's fascinating. It completely goes hand in hand, and it's just amazing. I didn't become an embryologist yet, except to cats, but maybe not to that degree. So it's just, it kind of goes hand in hand with what I wanted to do.
What does an embryologist do?
Embryologist is somebody who works at the IVF clinics and puts together the babies.
How do you make time for your marriage?
We try to be very intentional about spending time together. So even if we have stupid little errands to run, we don't do it separately. We do everything together. At home, if we want to clean, we clean the same area together, or we'll go grocery shopping together, or we just try to do everything together. So we are just keeping that connection. Because even the small talk or conversations over a small lunch or a drive to the supermarket helps. Stay in touch.
Connected.
Exactly.
Yeah. How does your husband feel now that your school's done?
He's relieved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him I'm looking into going back for my master's. He's like, please give me a break. He's like, just for a little bit, give me just a little break so I could like breathe. I was like, okay, I'll give you a little break.
You guys work so well together. Did you originally decide to have so many kids before you got married?
No.
What was that like?
Well, I actually remember this conversation very vividly because it was funny. But we were in the car driving somewhere. I don't know where we were going. And the conversation was like 2 months into our relationship. And he told me, oh, I never asked you, how many kids would you like? And I was like, 6. And he was like, what? And he's like, no way I'm doing that. And I said, okay, what do you want? And he said 2. And I was like, we're not doing that either. We're not meant to be if we're not going to compromise. And he said, okay, we'll compromise. How about 4? I said, okay, 4 is fine. And then we reached 4 and we were like, what about 5? How about 6? Maybe 7. Now we're 8. And then,
were all those intentionals?
No,
Okay.
they just were. It's in God's hands.
And then what made you decide to foster?
Well, after our 8th child, we both regretted because he got a vasectomy when I was pregnant with my 8th. Because I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this again. It was back-to-back pregnancies. I had all 8 within 11 years. I was like, I'm done. My body is done. So I said, you need to get a vasectomy while I'm still pregnant because you know what will happen. So he's like, okay. We made the appointment. We went. He got it done reluctantly. I wish he told me he was doing it reluctantly at that time, but he didn't. He respected my desire to end this whole journey that we were on. And so he went and got his vasectomy. And then after I had Stephen, I had some issues, so they said, if you're done having kids, I said I am. There's no other options. They recommended a hysterectomy, so I got the hysterectomy. But then about a little less than a year after, we both were very regretful that we took permanent steps when we were not 100% sure. We did it all in the heat of the moment and tired and whatever else. So we both were in agreement that we will foster children and maybe one day adopt children if we have it in our hearts and if the opportunity comes along. And so we did it. We went through the whole testing, background check, this, that, the other, classes, everything they needed to do. And we became foster parents. And my first foster child came into my life DeAndre, and I loved that little boy so much. When he went home, I wrote the mom a letter and said, hey, can you please keep in touch with me if you don't mind? And she said, sure. And then she emailed me, and we kept in touch, and then him and his siblings have been in my house on and off for 3 years.
You're such a caring, loving, generous person, you and your husband.
Thank you.
And what makes you guys love life so much?
Do what makes you happy. We wanted a lot of kids, made us happy, even though we had a lot of chit chat and chatter on the side, giving us lots of negative feedback. We just did what we felt like we wanted to. And whatever we didn't agree on, we compromised.
What's the negative chatter you guys got over the years?
Oh, that's too many children. It's very expensive. You don't understand what you're doing. It's going to show later. Blah, blah, blah. Kids are this and that. It's too much on your body. It's too stressful. It was a lot of people judging how we should feel based on how they feel. It's projection, lots of projection. And we just kind of blocked it out, and we did what made us happy in every decision we made.
Do you think you'll continue to do that?
Yes.
The positive feedback?
I'm too old to do anything else.
So you were so wise from such a young age to not
thank
listen
you.
to negative people and their feedback and all that. So what's next for you?
Next is focusing on my children, the Cattery, maybe pursuing my master's degree in the future.
In what?
The same thing. Just, further my education, maybe get a good paying job and doing something else. But right now I'm just happy where I'm at. I'm not really looking into the education aspect, but furthering the Cattery, bettering it, adding more of what I want in there, looks and personalities and characteristics, working slowly towards that, and then focusing on the kids and spending some time with them with a little bit of extra time I got back from finishing school.
Yeah. What's your advice to anybody who wants to open a Cattery?
My advice is do lots of research before. Make sure it's something you could handle. Make sure that you are doing it for the right reasons. Make sure it's, doable, basically. Like, there's a lot of things you don't realize or expect, and then it comes up. It can be very difficult, but it's also very rewarding. My husband brought up a good point. He said, you make people's day. When they come to see the kittens they're going to purchase or pick them up, he's like, the happiness and joy on their face, it gives your job, the Cattery and this business so much meaning. He's like, you're creating lifelong bonds and relationships with people with their cats. It's like a new family member. So you have to be in it for those reasons.
That's amazing. And what do people need to know to make sure that they're ready to start? What's the logistical stuff they need to know to be ready to start?
Be ready for anything can happen. So you might fall in love with the cat, buy the cat, bring him to your house, and you're planning to breed the cat, and boom, their genetic testing comes back bad. Or they get sick, or something unexpected like happens and you're just thrown off guard because you didn't think this was something that was going to happen to you right away. Just be ready, financially, emotionally, mentally, to handle those type of situations.
Okay. So I feel like your nickname should be Badass Becky. You do so much. Where can people find your information and about your Cattery, and if they want to get a cat, and if they want to get to know you and how you handle things, where can people get in touch with you?
Well, we have social media, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. All of them are Majestic Maines. And then we also have a website, majesticmaines.com. And if they want to email me outright, they can at hello@majesticmaines.com.
That's amazing.
And I'm
I
happy
hope
to answer any questions.
I hope a lot of people find you and
Thank
your
you.
wonderful cats that you're breeding. It was so good to have you today. We
Thank
will maybe
you.
talk
It
again
was a
soon.
pleasure. Yes. Thank
same.
you.